Greetings, Marsh here, and welcome to episode 44 of my modded Factorio playthrough. Enjoy.
One thing to note about inserters is about their energy consumption. So, you see that a standard yellow inserter consumes 13 kilowatts, and a long-handed inserter does 19, but it runs at 1.5 speed, so we need to multiply a regular inserter with 13 kilowatts times 1.5, and we get 19.5. So that means that a long-handed inserter is slightly more energy efficient per item than a yellow. But the same can't be said about blues. Blues are twice as fast as a red. So if you do 19 times 2, it's 38 kilowatts of energy consumption, but a fast inserter uses 46. And even still, a filter inserter does 52, which is worse than the blue. So in this situation, you could just replace every inserter in your factory with the blue if you wanted to take the easy way out, but it'll actually consume more energy because it just consumes more energy per swing. And it's something that's weird because most things in Factorio, the faster versions, although they consume more energy, consume less energy per item. But the same can't quite be said about inserters. I think the red is a oddity because it's normally a long-handed inserter, so it's kind of odd that you can use it not as a long-handed with bobs, so I don't know if that really counts. So if you take that out of the equation, it's definitely the most efficient here and the worst over here. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. So I wouldn't blindly replace all of your inserters with blues if you want to min-max your factory anyway, because they consume more energy per item. But all of that looks fine. So no need to replace any of that. I think that's most everything, with the exception of the filter inserters we're going to get to. Filling up on hydrogen, but it's not full yet, so I'll just leave it. Oh wow, the inventory is like really full of stuff. Well, I guess we're doing okay. Yeah, those are reds, which should be fine. And yeah, those are the standard burner inserters. Oh yeah, I didn't put the burner inserter in here, so might as well just throw it down there as a comparison, because I was doing the energy comparisons with the other two. See how the standard yellow inserter uses 13 kilowatts? Well, the burner uses 188, and it's slower. So definitely don't want to use these if you can avoid it. The other thing to mention is that all of the inserter types, I'll just place them down again, have something called a drain, and most machines in Factorio have a drain. It's the amount of electricity they use even when they're not being used. The only advantage to burner inserters, besides the fact they don't cost very much, is that they don't have a drain. But all these other versions do. But you can see that's like 500 watts, 500, and 400, and 400. So there's really not a disadvantage to drain to using the faster inserters. It's mainly the speed at which they swing that's impacted, and the energy they use per swing. The drain really doesn't come into effect very much. Alright, looks like it's time to work on those filter inserters. But might as well pick up some more blue inserters while we're at it, because I'm gonna need them. Alright, let's start at the beginning. What can we do here? Well, let's cut this off for a second. Well, first of all, these machines need 2 ore per second, but they run at a speed of 1.5. So that's 3 per second, which requires 2 blues. And the same amount goes in as goes out. See, 2 crushed go in and 2 crushed go out, so the same number of inserters as well. But the difference is that we no longer need to have this assembly machine here. The reason why we had them is because we couldn't filter out the crushed stone before it. But now that we have filter inserters, we can. And ideally, we don't want to turn a byproduct into another product unless we know for a fact we're going to need it. And we have tons of stone. Like, we definitely don't need more stone. So we can switch this up. Sure, it's just for symmetry reasons. Let's go up here. It's a little weird, but I like lines as straight as possible. So, since it has to put on the belt here, it would turn here and it wouldn't be straight anyway. Whatever, that's my excuse. Okay. So we do long-handed, long-handed, and then near long-handed right there. We can filter it and say, only take out the crushed stone. And you don't want to copy and paste that here, because if you do, it's going to copy the near setting as well. So when you're working with nears, you kind of want to do it twice like that. So now, I'm going to cut this off right here for a second. So now you can see that we're keeping the crushed stone instead of turning it into regular stone. Which means we can kind of do the same thing down here and keep the slag instead of turning it into crushed stone. And that also means we don't need any of this business here. We're full. But we do need that connected for research. Guess I'll put it up there. Okay, so this machine works at 0.75, so it's going to be outputting, looks like 3 ores per second. But at 0.75, so that's 2.25. So 1 inserter should be enough. Now, we could sort this into copper and iron. But since this is set up to take both off of the same belt, I am not going to sort copper and iron separately from each other. I'm just going to have them go out on the same belt like it's already being done. So let's put it here, and let's do a near and a regular. And set this for iron and copper. Let's see, let's make this long-handed. Long-handed and long-handed near. That will be the slag. So there's that. And that's basically the setup. It's simpler, and it preserves the original byproducts. Now, however, we're going to need to change the way these are sorted, since they're coming in on different lines than they were before. So, might as well pick all this up. Critically, what it means is we're not going to be making any more stone. It's all going to be crushed stone and slag, because we have such an overload of stone right now. Like thousands and thousands. It looks like 50,000 or more than 50,000. So we don't need to be collecting it anymore, which is fantastic. We can just leave that there and it'll just empty the stone out to make stone bricks. However, this setup can probably be done a little better. Let's do this. So that's going to be stone. And let's make a new one for slag. I believe a blueprint will work just fine here. We don't have any funny business going on. And we're out of robots. I'll just make them all. This is going to be slag. There we go. Now we just need to upgrade the other ore setups and deliver the slag and crushed stone. I guess I will upgrade this. Ooh. Logistics is done. Red belts. I'm wondering, is it worth making a recipe for? Probably not, since it's not going to remember any of the inserter settings. Unfortunately, we're going to need regular robots for that, and that's a limitation of the nanobots, so we'll just do these upgrades by hand. Full again. Yeah, this is going to keep happening. I think we need to go through and get rid of all this junk in the inventory. How's power doing? Looks like we're alright. Another thing we can do, since we've got so many resources that or so many machines we don't need anymore, is to work on the reverse factory. It's not too expensive, and we could get the component resources out of things we don't need anymore, specifically red inserters, since they're a dead end. We can't upgrade them. Yeah, and looks like we've got lots of slag here. And we can move over to the proper spot. No need to keep it there anymore when we've got a more official place to put it. See, let's place a regular here, a near right there. What's going on here? I think I removed 2 of them. There we go. Alright. So these need to be copper and iron. So the crushed stone will be coming from up there. Reverse factory. There we go. Alright, we can come in here, patch it into the crushed stone line. And then over here is going to be the slag. So we need a long hand there, right there, and a near right here. Now we need to patch this into the slag line. And there we go. Why isn't it running? Oh, because these are backwards. There we go. That's been fixed.
The next step from here is to use filter inserters on lead and tin, but that's a little more complicated, so we're going to have to save that for the next episode. I'll see you later.